I designed this version. I seen this version of myself before I were actually living it here in this dimension or in this physical world. And so if you truly believe that you have that power within you as well, then you can do it. Look that up. The 7.57 billion people.
Miami, Texas, LA.
Welcome back to the Money Game Podcast. I'm your host, Dion Pouncil. And today we're going to be talking about lifestyle design. Now, some of you guys will say, well, why are we talking about lifestyle design if this is the Money Game Podcast? Well, I'm a firm believer that we were not created to work, pay bills, and die. And so since we need money to use as the tool to buy things that we want or need, I'm a firm believer that the more we know about what we want, why we want it, and how we want it, and the lifestyle that we want to live, the more purposeful we're going to be when we are doing things to produce and secure money. And we'll be able to do everything with, for, and on purpose. Okay. So we're going to learn practical skills and tips and tools and tricks here on the Money Game Podcast. And one of those is setting a goal, making a step-by-step definite plan to reach that goal, and then working on it until we've manifested that dream into reality. So on this episode, we're going to be covering lifestyle design. So lifestyle design is defined as the process of designing your life aligned with your nature, strengths, values, dreams, passion, and purpose. It is the freedom to design your life the way you want. It is a way to end the rat race and to help you attain true freedom. So wherever you fall in on the lines of how you view money, whether you have a positive relationship with money, whether you have a negative relationship with money, whether you have a religious connotation to money, because there are a lot of religions that teach that the love of money is the root of all evil. Do you have a mathematical and a scientific approach to money, that it's just energy and you can use it and direct it how you see fit to acquire and secure other forms of energy? Or do you have a more simple, practical approach towards it? It's just a tool that I can use to buy what I want and need. Wherever you fall on that totem pole, I believe that you can use that tool to design the lifestyle that you want to live, right? So let's talk about it. Lifestyle design. For me, it starts with your why. Everything I do is connected to my why. So I kind of live a purpose-driven life. So my number one why is my family. I'm originally from the South Side of Chicago. I'm from a single parent home. I grew up in the 80s and 90s when crime and the neighborhoods were just very, very dangerous to live in, right? Now I live in Miami, Florida, in a luxury neighborhood and do X, Y, and C and A, B, and C. But I lived this life in my mind years before I actually were able to live it in real life, right? And so I had to use my imagination. I had to think, I had to dream about these things. And then I had to focus and tune in to that frequency, tune in to the time, energy, effort, and resources that it would take for me to be able to live a lifestyle like this. So literally, I designed this version. I seen this version of myself before I were actually living it here in this dimension or in this physical world, right? And so if you truly believe that you have that power within you as well, then you can do it. So to get into some practical steps, right? Number one, it's about having an imagination or having a vision and having a desire for a better life or for a more desirable life or for the life that you want to live. So if you can connect your why to the lifestyle that you want to live, you now have a good, solid, foundational starting point. Okay. So my why is my family. The second part of my why is generational wealth. So, coming from a single parent home and coming from a family where my grandfather was the patriarch, but he died when he was 9 years old, essentially, I became like the man of the family because my uncle was in and out of jail. And so, literally, I was the next man in line with about 15 to 20 women. So, although it wasn't publicly said that I was the man of the family, I took that responsibility internally and said, I need to do what my grandfather was doing for the family. I need to provide and protect. And so at that time, I was very good at math and science. I was very good at baseball. And so as I began to grow, I got a lot of awards in school for education, and I got a lot of awards and ended up getting ranked in baseball because those were the things that I was working hard on to use as tools to help my family get out of the hood and out of those situations. Okay. And the third part of my why is I'm a sponge. I love learning. So I want to be able to learn, earn, and return. I want to be able to learn as much as I can because I'm a firm believer that the more you learn, the more you earn. And so I want to be able to monetize the skills that I've learned. And then I want to be able to use those tools to teach other people. So those things are wrapped up in my why. And so now I understand why I do what I do. And that helps me to develop my mission. For those of you who may or may not know, last year, literally almost to the day, I was in the hospital for over 4 weeks and I was in intensive care for 2 weeks. And on one of those nights I was in intensive care, the doctor came in and he said, hey, call your family, get your things in order. You may not make it through the night. And so if you know me, I'm big on energy. I did not receive that energy. I rebuked that energy. And I actually began to go into the restroom on my own because I had to convince them because I was so weak. My lungs were collapsing and things like that. I convinced them to let me go to the restroom, and I would walk to the restroom barely. And I would speak life over myself. And I would say, I believe in you. You will beat this. You will overcome this. You will get out of here. And when you do, you're going to be a better person. You're going to make the world a better place. And so I'm a data-driven guy. So when I said make the world a better place, I said I want to make the world 1% better before I transitioned out of here. And so I literally Googled and seen how many people were on the planet at that time. And it was approximately 7.5 billion people. And 1% of 7.5 billion is 75 million. So if you've seen anything of my mission statement online or in materials, you know that I state that my mission is to help over 75 million people change their lives and take control of their financial futures through financial education, trading, and investing. And so now we can see how my why is connected to my mission. So my why was to provide for my family and to help get my family out of dire situations. And my mission is to help people change their lives through financial education and get out of dire situations. So you can literally see how my why is connected to my mission. Okay. So that allows us to establish a legitimate and practical foundation for designing the lifestyle that we want to live. So now I'm going to encourage you to sit back and think about what are your superpowers? What comes to you naturally? What are you good at? And what do you do? And you would do it 1000% for free, and you would do it to help other people. Okay. Think about that for a second. Now, once you think about that, you can start crafting that and jotting that down and crafting a definite statement of your why and a definite statement of your mission. And that becomes your why and your foundation. Then step 2, the next thing that we're going to focus on is your how. So now, how are you going to use your gifts, your tools, your superpowers? How are you going to use your why and your mission to help other people? And so you can do that in 2 ways. You can do it philanthropically, or you can do it and you can monetize. Okay. And that is a personal choice. All right. But everything that we do, we're doing it for other people, or we cannot do 99% of the things on this planet by ourselves. We can't pay ourselves. We don't necessarily feed ourselves. We don't necessarily protect ourselves. You get your money out of a bank or an ATM, or you trade or barter with people. Okay. Even if you're in agriculture and you grow your own foods, you might be purchasing the seeds from somewhere or purchasing the cattle from somewhere. Right. So We need each other. It's one planet, as we know, that humans are able to live on it right now. We need to be able to see that number two and say, how can we use our why to help other people better themselves? Okay. And so when you do that, you can now craft a plan of your service or your product. So you can create a service or you can create a product. You don't necessarily have to create it from scratch. You can Google and look up and see, hey, what skills like these have jobs, or what businesses are in this industry or in this realm that naturally aligns and connects with your superpower. If you decide to be an entrepreneur, you can see what type of businesses you can start or invest in that you can use your superpowers to grow. And then once you do that, now you can make a definite business plan or philanthropic plan of how you're going to use your time, your energy, your efforts, and your resources to help other people. And once you do that, you're going to be able to create a price for your services. And when you have a price developed for your services, then now you can sell those services. And as you begin to add value, and as you begin to establish credibility, and as you begin to become that person for that particular lane or niche that you've carved out for yourself, and you add value to people, people are going to be willing to pay you. And so now you are literally getting paid for what is wrapped up in your mission and your purpose, right? Some will say your gift will make room for you. So now you've identified the how by identifying philanthropic approach or monetary approach. You create a step-by-step plan on how you are going to deliver your product or deliver your services, the fees that you are going to charge for it, okay, and how it's going to add value to people. So you got number one, your why, and number two, your how. And then number three is going to be your actual what. Like, what are you actually doing? So you're going to be able to define it. You're going to have clear messaging. It's going to be a clear product or a clear service. It's going to be simple to understand, and it's going to be easy to either execute, or it's going to be easy for people to understand and see how it adds value to their life. Okay. So that's number three, what you are actually doing. Okay. And the reason that I'm giving it to you in this order is because not only this is how the brain operates, but this is the way you need to deliver your messaging so that people connect with you. All right. And then they won't buy what you're selling. They are buying what they connect to add value to their life. Okay. So why, how, and what? Once you have those three things bottled up, you now have a purpose-driven life with defined products and services that you're delivering, defined opportunities of revenue or philanthropic service. And now you can use that and say, this is what I am going to use as the tool to produce money for the lifestyle that I want to live. And from my profits, I am going to design the life I want to live. So part two is now lifestyle design. Part one is your core reasonings of why, how, and what. Part two is lifestyle design. So in part two, you're going to literally design your future self. So I want you to put 6 months or 12 months out. And I want you to say, this is my ideal self. So I'm currently 34. I'll be 35, right? 7 months or so. Okay. So I'm literally designing my 35-year-old self right now. What does Dion look like? Okay. I'm currently 210 pounds. At the beginning of this year, I was 240 pounds. So I wanted to get back to my playing weight of 190 pounds. So I literally have been working every day defining the body type that I want by going to the gym, working on certain muscles. So by the time my next birthday comes, I want to be 190 pounds with 10% body fat. And that's the other key thing. Once you establish some goals, I want you to make data-driven goals. Get you some numbers, do some research, and make specific data-driven goals. I don't want to just lose weight. Well, how much weight do I want to lose? How much body fat do I want to lose? And how and what is the best approach to doing that? So I want to be 190 pounds, 10% body fat. When I started setting these goals, I was 240 pounds, 30% body fat. Now I'm 210 pounds, 22% body fat. So now I can see the progress as I get to that ideal version of myself. What is my wardrobe going to look like? What am I going to be wearing, right? I like simplicity. I like minimalist. So I literally have white and black polos and shirts, and everything has my logo on it. And I keep it real simple. And I got a couple pair of jeans and a couple pair of shorts. But my entire wardrobe is pretty much black, white, and green. But I designed it that way. I bought white polos. I bought white button-ups. I bought black jeans. I bought white shoes. I bought black shoes. And I keep it very, very simple. Okay. You have the power to design the wardrobe that you want, and you have to budget out for that. Okay. What do you drive? What kind of car? What make? What model? What year? Do you drive at all? Or do you have a driver? Or do you just take Uber? Do you take public transportation? Literally, where do you live? Do you live in a house? Do you live in an apartment? Do you rent? Do you own? Do you have land? I want you to go step by step of all the major pillars in your life and then all the micro pillars in your life. And I want you to jot down the ideal answer that you want for each one of those questions. Okay. And when you jot that down, you have literally crafted and designed the ideal version of yourself that you believe that you want to live. This is not for anybody else, not their opinion, not their thoughts, not their wants, not anything from them. This is ideally what you want. So you need to acknowledge where you want to be. You need to acknowledge where you are. And then that plan that you've made, you have to acknowledge from how you're going to get from point A to point B. And then the final thing, I want you to ask yourself, are you willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to do and to put in the time, the energy, the effort, the resources? Are you willing to vibrate at that frequency that you need to be at to operate at this level? Okay? Because it's not necessarily just about becoming a successful entrepreneur. It's not just about becoming a multimillionaire, a billionaire, trillionaire. It's about who you need to become to reach that level. Okay? And so this is lifestyle design. You have the power to design the lifestyle that you want to live. You have the mental toughness and stability and patience and self-control and discipline to do what it takes to get from point A to point B. The real question is, do you believe that you can? Do you believe that you will? And do you believe that you have what it takes? And I will wrap up here today with this. One of my favorite quotes. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you can't, you are right. Okay? I believe in you. We need you to tap into your gift. We need you to manifest your dream, your purpose into reality because only you can do it. And we need you to bring that gift to the world. Okay? So I love you. I believe in you. I'm looking forward to you manifesting your gift. And then we're going to take that lifestyle that you actually designed, and we're going to learn about different practical steps around money from myself and others. And you're going to be able to take those tools and apply them to help design a lifestyle that you want to live. Okay? So thank you for joining me on today's episode of the Money Game Podcast. Again, my name is Dion Pouncil. I'm your host, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Love, light, peace, wealth, great health, and abundance to each you all. I'll see you in the next episode.